Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Many businesses can be started with little money. You know, one thing that, I'm going to tell you what, this kind of like disappoints me. I ain't going to say it saddens me, it disappoints me, particularly with black businesses. It really does. I have to say this particularly, but it can apply to businesses for any group, ethnic group, racial group, but it disappoints me because there's always complaints about banks not providing business loans and things of that nature and financing. I'm going to tell you what, we can't wait on that. We can't wait on that because the reality is the overwhelming majority of businesses does not have bank financing regardless of racial background. You know, there's like within the black community, there's this thought that, you know, all these businesses are just getting loans and stuff. No, they're not. Banks are cold-blooded. Banks are really cold-blooded. Well, two things. Banks are cold-blooded. They only want to give you a loan if they think they're going to get the money back. You pretty much have to be in business already to get a loan, regardless. And then the second thing is a lot's not talked about when, you know, particularly in the black community. And this one in a few episodes, be focused on the racial aspect. But in the black community, it's not talked about these immigrants. They'll come over and they'll have stuff like in Caribbean, they got susus. And basically they'll get a bunch of people together. They will get a bunch of people together. Like say, hypothetically, everybody has $1,000. They'll put it into a pot, maybe 12 people. They'll put it into the pot, so they will, and give it all to one person. So basically one person gets $11,000 to make some money, to get their business started or something. And then, I believe it's called Suso, but it's still the same principle. Other countries, Asians, Africans have the same principle. They put their money into the pot and then, you know, to give it to that one person. And then a month later, a few months, depends on the group, they do the same thing for another person. So basically, they come up with their own money. In fact, I read somewhere that banks were having trouble with some African countries because the people don't use the banks like that. They go to somebody. And people have actually killed themselves because they couldn't repay their part. So it's deep. But the thing is, they just relied on themselves. They relied on themselves. And when you look at any business, most businesses, you got to start it on your own. It might have to be with credit cards, savings. Oh, yet another reason why I say you need savings to start a business. Because people ain't going, look, a bank's in the business of making money. They ain't just, you can come up with them with a great business plan, idea or something. They're not going to give it to you. In fact, the only way you can really get some money like that, you do have some organizations that will give business grants and something like that. And you just have to look for them. But let's be real, most banks ain't going to do it. But then most businesses, you can start with little or no money. It depends on what it is. Like, I haven't talked about this gentleman, his name was Mike. I always call him Chicken Place Mike, but, and that was a guy, he had built up 3 places. He had 3 restaurants where he was selling buffalo wings. And you know a brother like buffalo wings, right? You know how much I love buffalo wings. And he had some good ones because he didn't fry them and all, he baked them. And his business, he went crazy with his business. But I always remember when I first met him, I didn't meet him at the buffalo wing place. He was actually the friend of another friend of mine working in this mall. And I remember when I met him and, you know, found out what he did. He delivered buffalo wings to different barbershops in the area. Because, you know, you get some barbershops, you know, they get crowded. Sometimes they'll have some people bringing them food. They have like some stuff there for the people to eat while they're waiting. That's all he did. He delivered, he made them at his home and delivered them. Now I thought about that. I was like, you know, that didn't take much. He just needed just enough money to get some wholesale buffalo wings from like one of these wholesale places. That and a working oven. Seriously, I actually sat in the store one time talking with him, watched him cook it. He put that oven on, put the stuff on there, seasoned it, put it in there. And it's funny, my co-parent said I actually made better wings. Oh, Ron could hook them up. But the thing was, it was very simple and then just regular food. And they were always hot because he was so good at customer service. People were waiting for him all the time. People be lined up waiting for the wings. But how did he get started? He started off small. Like if you don't, like most businesses, you can start off like small. If you like, especially something food, just delivering food, or always talk about vending. There's plenty of farmers markets where you can start something. You just gotta get the requisite licenses and everything, and then you can go from there. But just start off small with little money, just whatever you got. Now, yeah, of course, if you're talking some major stuff, hey, you're gonna need some more money, but even those, they go with investors. They go with investors. So, but even those investors, a lot of them just started off small. Just start off small and build. Yeah, it's going to be part-time at first. It can be a little tough. But you know what? You just start off small and just build, build, build. And then as you build your business, get to a certain level, then when you're ready to expand, then you can hit the bank. And because the thing they want to know, they want their money back. So you can say, well, hold up. I've been in business 2 years. I want to expand. Here's my plan to expand. This is how much we're making every month. This is how much we're projecting that we can make if we expand. Boom. You're giving them reason to give you a loan because, well, they're going to get their money back. It's really that simple with banks. They only do stuff. They don't just willy-nilly give away money, despite what some people might think. They want to make their money back. You giving them away. And plus, it's actually a good way to start off small anyway. I'm going to tell you what. You don't have to worry about paying back a loan. Because if, like, say hypothetically, you get a loan, but you're not ready. You're not ready to pay it back. You're not ready. Because, and I've seen that happen. Some businesses, like, okay, I'm familiar with a business that expanded because they had the backing of someone who won the Maryland lottery. I ain't going to get too deep into it. Let's just say they had the backing. They expanded too quick. They expanded too quick, and I saw it. I was like, y'all expanded to this big space too quickly. Y'all should have took your time. See, when you expand your business, you want to take your time with it. You start off small and then slowly expand. You want to take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Slowly, slowly. That way, you build your customer base up and everything. And then you put yourself in a position, you might can put yourself in a position where you don't need a loan. But you still want to expand to the point where you're still getting in money. You can still pay a loan back if you need to, if you want to expand even more. But you got to start off small. And most businesses can be started with very little money. And hence why I always talk about a savings. You can use that savings to start it off. In fact, you might, if you got enough of a savings, you don't even need to dip into your credit card. Just start off small and grow. All right? I want y'all to think about that, okay? Don't get caught up in thinking, oh, I gotta have this loan or I gotta do this. No. That's most businesses don't start off that way. Don't hit the bank until, you ready to expand and you got a serious business plan and everything. And your odds of success are, I would say 75% at minimum. If you thinking 50-50, don't do it. Like you need to have everything so planned. It's like, okay, if we follow everything based on our history, based on our projections, our studies, we can really make that money by expanding. We can have it. And plus, you need that anyway for the bank. Smart banks, they're going to look at it. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for now. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.